Hi, this is Tony from Portugal. Today we'll speak about how to buy and can I buy real estate in Portugal with cryptocurrency. We'll see that just in a minute. Second subject, inheritance tax. How does it work with inheritance tax in Portugal? 0% possible? Let's go into it right away. So let's go right away into the subject, cryptocurrency and property purchase in Portugal. Since April 2022, you can legally buy a property here in Portugal with cryptocurrency. It can be any cryptocurrency, okay? And as incredible as it seems, that was in April that the law came out, and in May 2022 was already registered the first transaction in cryptocurrency. It happened in the north of Portugal for an apartment of 110,000 euro, yeah, and the seller received 2.5 bitcoins, okay? What the seller did with his bitcoins was from that moment on his problem. Maybe he stayed with them as middle or long-term investment. Maybe he changed it to euros right away. But for all means, the transaction by itself was made in cryptocurrency, or more correctly in this case in Bitcoin. It could have been any other currency, okay? In this case it was Bitcoin. So how does it work? Well, basically the key factor here is the notary. So the notary has to take care of the money laundering law, okay? So all over Europe, this money laundering, and not only Europe, this money laundering law has to be very careful examined, and the responsibility of this is in the hand of the notary, okay? So once he does the deed, everything has to be in order, has to be proved, and so on. So usually what the notaries ask for in this type of transaction is they need to know, and they need to know it through all the documentation, okay? Everything has to be there. Where, so how the purchaser has bought these cryptocurrencies, okay? From where comes the cryptocurrencies to Portugal or will be paid, okay? And all these proofs has to be done by written, okay? All the documentation must be there to enable the deed. If the purchase is of an amount above 200,000 euros, the documentation has to be more. So the notary will apply for more documents. It's not something impossible, because if somebody has bought the cryptocurrency legally and officially and has all the proofs that the money is absolutely regular with the money laundering law, there will be no problem at all. But the proofs have to be given to the notary, has to be handed over to the notary. Meanwhile, since 2022 has been done a lot of transactions with cryptocurrency, but a few of them has also been refused by different notaries because the documents were not in order, okay? But in your case, or in the case of your friends or families that might be interested in investing in hardware, real estate is hardware, yeah, and giving away a little bit of the cryptocurrency or all of it, the ideal point is really Portugal, because there is no real legal problem to purchase a property with this currency. Okay, so let's go to the second point, which the inheritance tax. The inheritance tax here in Portugal is roughly 10%. Okay, it's an overall tax of 10%. And actually, it's not called inheritance tax anymore in Portugal, but stamp tax, okay, which is imposto de selo, okay. The government has changed that from tax to imposto de selo. But to make things easier, let's continue with inheritance tax. So this inheritance tax applies not for immediate family. Okay, and what does it mean? Or very close family. What does it mean? We are speaking about parents, grandparents, grandchildren, and children. These four classes, okay, has a 0% inheritance tax. Yes, it's true. You don't pay inheritance tax here in Portugal for grandparents, parents, grandchildren, and children. How does it work? Well, basically what happens is once you die, everybody has to die, unfortunately, yes. Once you die, the inheritance has to go to a lawyer, a solicitor, okay, and will need a certificate of your death, okay? And this certificate usually takes 1 to 2 months. I had this case with my father, and it took me 1 month. And with this certificate, the inheritance goes then to the bank, okay? And in this document states also how many percentage everybody get. So if you have two children, probably both will receive 50% each, okay? And the same with real estate, with your properties. Let's take now, to make things a little bit clearer, let's take a real case. Let's imagine you come from, let's take the United Kingdom, okay? And you change your living to Portugal, you register here, you make also your fiscal registration, yes? You bring, for example, valuable paintings, other type of investments that you made, okay? And you open a bank account here. Once you are here, you open a bank account, you get your Portuguese fiscal number, you are registered, you make the transfer of the funds that you have in the United Kingdom to your Portuguese account. Can be everything, can be half of it, however you want, okay? And then you purchase one or several properties here in Portugal, yes, and make in Portugal your legal residence. Well, and then happens the things that shouldn't happen, yes, as you die. And in this case, like I said before, the inheritance has to go through a solicitor or a lawyer and get this document to be enable them to register the properties and also getting the money of your bank account to their names. Okay, until there, no problem at all. Afterwards, okay, once this is done, it depends on the inheritance, which means as long as they stay with the properties, it's in this case all about the properties, not about the money that you have in the bank, because the money that you have had on your bank, they get it and that's it. But the properties is another thing, because if they decide to sell the properties, yes, in this moment, at the moment that they sell, they will have the problem with the capital gains, yes? And the capital gains will be based or calculated how? The tax office will take a value, it's a table that they have, the value of them, of the property, because basically your children got the property for nothing, yes? So they will take this amount that they have in the table, okay? And depending on the amount that you have sold the property, you will have to pay capital gains on the difference, like usual, obviously. No? The only problem is here that the table of the tax office, which will estimate the amount of your property, are lower than the real market value, which means that the capital gains will be higher. Okay, if a property on the market price is 200,000 euros, probably the tax office will evaluate it for 150. If afterwards you sell it for 300, you will have to pay capital gains on the difference, which is 150k. Okay, yes, but anyway, that won't be your problem anymore because you are dead. Yes, it will be the problem of the ones who received the inheritance from you. So If there is no sale of the properties, no taxes, okay? They can rent it and so on here, or they can remain with the property the time that they want, and they won't have no taxes at all. Another possibility is if you don't like the Portuguese inheritance systems, okay, you can still come to Portugal and through your solicitor, lawyer, okay, say, okay, I live in Portugal, I'm resident of Portugal, but as British resident, I want that the inheritance system of the UK applies, okay? That is a possibility that can be done meanwhile in Europe, and you have to apply through the solicitor for that, okay? So you have both situations. I don't see really the advantage because you have the 0% for your family, 0% tax for your family. So for all means, it's much better to have this profit, and for them, basically, it's even better because they got the properties and they decide afterwards what to do with it, if they want to pay taxes or not, so they sell it, or if they just want to keep it, and they keep it and rent it out or whatever, okay? Yes? So that's about the inheritance. I forgot just the last point. The 0% inheritance tax here in Portugal only applies to everything that is related with Portugal, which is in Portugal, okay? It doesn't apply at all to whatever you have in the United Kingdom or in America or where else, or in Canada or where else. It's only about everything that is related to Portugal. This is the tax zero, okay? Outside of the country, you will have to pay, or the inheritance will have to pay the taxes of their country. Okay, that has to be very clear about it. But everything which is here or which you bring in here will be a 0%. This was a short video today, but I think both situations, inheritance tax and property purchase through cryptocurrency, are important things that you should know, even if you don't or can't use them. You have probably family, friends that might be interested to know these things. And for all means, you never know the future. So also for you, it's important to know both of these things, okay? My name is Tony, I'm in Portugal, okay? And I'm coming back with a new video in a very short time. Meanwhile, please leave your comments, okay? Just subscribe somewhere here where you see my face, okay? And make this one, okay? Thank you for watching.